My name is Francia. Today we're going to be doing a nice gentle restorative practice. And we're actually going to include a sun salutation that I learned recently that it's geared more towards moving effortlessly through the body, but creating that movement that we normally would do in a regular sun salutation without making it very exertive. So it's a nice sun salutation to learn when you're feeling like you just want a very calm practice, and also if you're injured or if you're not really able to jump or step back like we do in sun salutations, this is a nice alternative. We are going to be using a bolster and or a thick blanket, but that you can put that off to the side. We'll get to that in a moment. So let's start in a comfortable seated position. Soften the shoulders and the jaw, create length in the spine, and maybe even close the eyes if it feels nice and natural for you. Allow the breath to move in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils with effortless ease, creating a sense of grounding and rooting down through the pelvis floor and through the legs, and then creating a sense of lift and lengthening through the spine and through the top of the head. As you breathe gently in and out through the nostrils, allow yourself to find calm, ease, and safety in this space that you are seated in. Letting go of anything that doesn't serve you, anything that is not for your higher purpose. See if you can just surrender it. Release it with the next exhale breath. And continue to allow your breath to move in this steady, natural, rhythmic pace. Grounding down again through the sits bones and legs, rising up once more through the rib cage, chest, spine, and head. Softness in the jaw and the shoulders and the tongue. Scanning through the body, making sure that you are aware of every square inch, every muscle, every tendon, every ligament in your body is part of your existence right now. Bring yourself fully mindfully into this moment. Leave outside of your mat anything that is a distraction, a worry, a concern. And if thoughts do pop up during your practice, give yourself the grace to come back to the movement and breath, and come back to the serene space of calmness, serene space with your heart open, receiving and surrendering all that doesn't serve. And with the next inhale breath, we'll bring the palms together at the center of the heart, thumbs pressing against the sternum. We'll inhale deeply for Om. Exhaling, let's release the hands down. Let's blink the eyes open, bringing awareness into our space. We'll start today with a breathing exercise. So we're going to move into box breathing. Remember, this is the one where we breathe in for a certain count. We're going to start with 5. We hold the breath for a count of 5. We exhale for a count of 5, and then we hold the breath for a count of 5. So we're going to hold with a full expanded chest, and then we're going to also hold with an empty chest or empty lungs. So let's give that a try. Let's inhale. And then pause at the top of the breath, hold, don't breathe out just yet. And exhale. Pause at the bottom of the breath, don't breathe in just yet. And inhale. Again, we hold. And exhale. Hold the breath out, empty lungs. Inhale. Hold, full lungs. Exhale. Empty lungs now, hold. Inhale. Hold the breath, retain. And exhale, slow and steady. Try to keep the whole body calm, just like in the beginning of the practice. Pause the breath. Inhale. Retain at the top. Exhale slowly. Good. Pause the breath. We're going to do one more round. Inhale, slow and easy. Retain at the top. Exhale, slow and easy, no force. Retain at the bottom. Good. And now just come back to your natural pace of breath. Inhaling and exhaling in a natural state, coming back to your regular rhythmic breathing. Good. Very nice. So we're going to release the hands and the feet, and we're going to come to a seated position with the legs extended forward. I'm just going to move my cushion off to the side here. All right, so we're going to start in this kind of Dandasana position. Check in with your body. If you feel like your hamstrings are really tight, feel free to bend your knees a little bit. If you feel like you're kind of tucking into the pelvis and rounding forward, allow yourself to lift through the chest, roll the shoulders back, and just plant your hands on that right next to your hips. So you don't want your hands behind you or in front of you, but directly right next to your hips. And your elbows can be bent a little bit. As you start to hold the position, see if you can press through the legs and flex the feet so that the toes point towards you. Inhale, lift your chest up. Maybe roll your shoulders back and see if your arms can straighten a little bit. They don't have to lock into place, but maybe they can be a little bit straighter. This is just going to give us a nice lift through the rib cage and allow that inhale breath to come in deeply, creating space in the abdomen. Now, as we exhale, we're going to relax the shoulders back, press the legs down into the earth, and then inhale, let's lift the arms up towards the sky. Roll the shoulders back. Now here's an option for you. You can keep the hands separated, or you can look up and bring the palms together. This is just like Samastitihi, right? When we're standing, and then Ekam when we bring the arms up. And then Dwe, we exhale, and we're gonna bring the hands to the toes or the feet or the ankles and allow the body to completely soften, relaxing the shoulders. So this is the second movement of our sun salutation. Now, Trini, inhale. We're going to lift halfway, open your heart space, look forward, shoulders roll back. That's the halfway lift that we would normally do. Exhale there. And then inhale, slide your hands back and just come down to your elbows. So try to do this with as much control as you can. Once you're down on your elbows, point your toes, lift your chest, but look down towards your navel. So you want to allow yourself to create a nice long line of the body here, not sinking and not overarching, just lifting up. Now, as we exhale, I'm going to slide myself a little forward here. As we exhale, we're going to slide the elbows down and bring the top of the head to the floor. So the chest is lifted, shoulders roll back, and now this is like our upward facing. Now, exhale again, release the chest all the way down, so we're flat on our backs. And then inhale, lift your arms overhead and lift your legs so that they come into either Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall, or you can extend them forward a little bit like Navasana legs.
your choice. If the hands don't go down to the floor all the way, you can have them up slightly. So this would be like our downward facing dog. Like if we were on the ceiling, it would be similar to this. But I like to bring the hands all the way up and over. It creates a nice stretch in the shoulders. And I like to leave the legs a little bit more engaged forward. But remember, you can always have them straight up. Let's hold here. 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to use momentum. So swing your legs a little bit towards you. And then exhale. Everything comes back up to where we started. Except we're going to go ahead and flex the feet and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, make your way back to Samasthiti or to Dandasana position in a seated position. So this is the sun salutation. We're going to do it again slow, and then we're going to move into it a little bit faster. Flex the feet, find Dandasana. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, take your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Move the shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, bring the hands behind you so that you can come onto your elbows with control. Point your toes, shoulders back, look down towards your toes. And then exhale, slide the elbows down, top of the head on the mat. Lift the rib cage. This is our upward facing. Exhale, flatten your back and arms up, legs up. Again, you can go into Viparita Karani, or you can find a little bit more engagement. 1, 2, try to keep your back as flat down. So instead of lifting through your rib cage, pull your rib cage in, long spine. 3, 4, almost there. 5, all right, using a little momentum. Exhale, everything rolls up. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, fold deeply. And then inhale, arms up. I forgot this one last time. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Good. All right, we got this. I just learned this a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still learning with you. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, come to your elbows, point your toes, look forward towards your toes, shoulders back, belly in. Inhale, top of the head down, sliding your elbows forward, lift your ribcage. Exhale, flatten your back and arms and legs up. 1, 2, keep the back pulling down towards the floor, the spine pressing down. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, a little momentum. Everything comes up. Inhale, lift the chest as you grab your toes or feet, shoulders back. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, arms up to lengthen. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Good. All right. I said one more. I actually meant 3 more because that was the first one that we did at steady pace. So we're going to do 2 more at the steady pace. Here we go. Ekam, inhale, lift the arms. Dwe, exhale, fold deeply. Trini, inhale, lift halfway. Chatwari, exhale, elbows down, look forward. Pancha, inhale, shoulders back, top of the head down. Chat, exhale, flatten down, legs up, arms up. 1, 2. Make your legs as active as you can by pressing through the, pointing through the toes, or you can flex the feet. 3, 4, 5. Little momentum. Sapta, inhale, everything up. Find your feet, look up. Ashta, exhale, fold. Nava, inhale, rise. Gazing up to thumbs, exhale, back down, Samasthiti. Last one. Ekam, inhale. Dwe, exhale. Trini, inhale, lift halfway. Chatwari, exhale, slide your elbows back, point your toes, look down, belly in. Ancha, exhale, top of the head down. Shot, exhale, flatten the back, legs up, arms back. 1, 2, relax the shoulders, make this as active or as easy as you'd like. 3, 4, 5, little momentum, sapta, inhale, come all the way up, look forward. Ashta, exhale, fold. Nava, inhale to rise. Palms together, looking at your thumbs. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Very nice. All right, let's cross the feet, tuck them underneath you. Place your hands directly in front of the feet, not too far forward. Try to keep your knees up. Inhale, lift and press up through the hands, and then step your feet back. Come to downward facing dog. As we find our downward facing dog, reach the tailbone back, long spine, let the head relax. If this is not really available for you today, downward facing can be a little bit difficult. You can always come to your knees and just do a child's pose. Drawing in through the navel, wherever you are, whether in child's pose or in downward facing. See if you can find the parts of your body where you can create a little bit more strength and engagement. And then also find the parts of your body where you can feel a little softer and relaxed. Come back to your natural pace of breath, natural length of inhale and exhale, seeing if you can equalize the two. And then everyone's going to bring the knees down, and we'll all take child's pose. Big toes touch, hips all the way to the heels. You can have your knees really wide as your mat, and then you can extend your arms forward for an extended child's pose. Or you can bring your hands back by your feet and have a little bit more of a relaxed feel. If the forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can put your pillow, a block, or your blanket, or even your bolster underneath you so that you can rest your head somewhere. If your arms are extended, try pressing into your fingertips so that you can lift your elbows up. This will create a little bit more engagement in the armpits and in the shoulders. However you feel you want to be here, just allow yourself to be. Let go of wanting or trying to do anything different than what you already are. You're perfect just as you are. So just try to enjoy your practice. Take deep breaths in, slow breaths out. One more time, deep breath in, slow breath out. And if your hands are up onto your fingers, flatten your palms. Inhale, look forward. Maybe the chin can come down. Exhale there. And then inhale, slowly make your way up. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under and slide the knees underneath the hips. So we're in a tabletop position. You can readjust here. Let's take a nice deep inhale to move the spine into our cow pose. Shoulders back, tailbone lifts, look up or look towards the tip of the nose. And then exhale, curl everything under. So we're moving and transferring the weight and the movement of the spine. Again, inhale, pressing up. Shoulders back, looking up or looking towards the tip of the nose. Exhale, curling everything under. So moving into the spine. You can go a little faster and do some more. You can go a little less, do less and do a little bit slower. But we're going to do one more. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cow. And slowly coming back to center. All right, so we're going to reach forward. We did this one a couple weeks ago, I think. Grab your blanket. If you have a carpet, you may not need this. I need it because I have a hard floor. Where you're going to place it across the center of your mat. Widen your legs so that they're a little bit wider than your mat. And then extend your feet so that they're directly at the same alignment as your knees. Excuse me. So as you find your legs in the right position, then place your hands on the floor and let's start moving into the hips. So moving forward, moving back, And start to notice where this, the point where your body needs to stop. Like for example, for me, if I go any farther than this, it really feels way too intense in my inner thighs. So you're gonna have to try and play with what that sensation needs to be for you. And it's gonna vary day by day. All right, we're gonna come back to center. We're gonna bring the elbows down. Keep the hips up, but try to keep the hips stacked over your knees. So we're not going into like a down dog or a child's pose where the hips go to the heels. We're staying in this upright position. And then you can start to slide your elbows down. Maybe your forehead can come to the mat. Move into the space. So again, you're trying to move your hips up and back as you bring your chest and forehead down. A little bit of combination between a down puppy and this frog stretch we're doing with the legs. Relax the shoulders, keep the feet flexed and the heels apart. The heels don't come in towards each other, they stay underneath the knees, so they're in alignment with the knees. Breathing steady, breathing easy. Allow your arms to support some of your weight. Just allow yourself to find a calm, steady, rhythmic breath here. Try not to overdo it. If you feel like it's too much, you can always come out, take child's pose. Good way to end this. Couple more breaths. Good. Stay here. One more breath. And slowly with the next inhale, we're going to press into the elbows, lift the chest, bring the elbows in, kind of come back to where we started, hands on the floor, come back to the top, and then once more, let's take that little bit of rock, forward and back. So if you don't have anything underneath your knees, this might feel really, really rough on your legs, on your shins, on your knees. So make sure that you use support there. Now we're going to start to walk one knee in and then the other. Bring the feet behind, and then we'll do a child's pose with the knees together. So knees together, feet together, hips all the way down to the heels, and then allow your arms to reach back, and then just take more of a traditional balasana, forehead down to the mat, shoulders just fan out and relax. Steady breathing. And let all of that movement go. And one more breath. And then inhale slowly. Let's start to roll up. All right, you can keep the blanket underneath you if you're using it. You can also slide a block or another, or you maybe even fold the blanket and tuck it so that you can sit on your heels. Sometimes it's a lot more comfortable, especially if you have any pain in the back of your knees. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move that same kind of cat and cow into this seated position. So hands on the knees, nice tall spine. Let's exhale, curl into your cat, tucking the tailbone under, tucking the chin to the chest, and letting the shoulders really come forward. You want to feel like the middle part of your back is pushing really back. And then inhale, reverse that. Now by bringing the chest forward, shoulders back, maybe the chin can come up, and you want to create that open arch space. We're going to keep the hands at the knees for now until we get comfortable with the movement. Exhale, curl it under. Inhale, lift it up. Remember, the goal of our practice today is to find restorative movement for the body. Again, last time, curl it under. And lift it up. Opening through the heart space, chest up, open the shoulders, back, chin up, and then back to a flat back. Okay, so now we're gonna add movement of the arms here. So as we curl under, instead of keeping the hands at the knees, let's reach them towards the floor, really round the back. Keep tucking the chin in. Maybe the fingertips can touch the floor as the shoulders separate. And now as we inhale, the hands come back to the knees, but this time we're gonna open them out and really create a sense of like wide and lift as the chin comes up, the shoulders go back. Open your heart space.
And then exhale, hands come back through the knees. And then again, we round and extend forward and down, tucking the chin to the chest. Really kind of finding a little bit of sway, a little bit of movement here. Inhale, slide the hands back through the knees, and then widen everything open. You want to feel this expansiveness across the front of your chest. Bring the arms back, chest up, shoulders back. Maybe you look up. Last time. Hands back through the knees and then forward, rounding everything, really tucking in like you want to bring your forehead to your knees. And inhale, opening and expanding, letting the body open up, rise up out of the legs. And then exhale, coming back to a nice seated position. So just notice even that movement, how that lets you create more openness in the front body. All right, so we're going to come off of our blanket and onto our toes. So now that we're on our toes, you can have your feet slightly apart. Sometimes it's easier to balance with your feet a little wider apart, or you can have your big toes touching. Either way is fine. Look down towards your knees. Make sure that they're parallel. Don't let them open out and don't let them squeeze in. So keep the knees parallel, keep the hips down. This is too much for the knees. You can press into your fists and lift your hips up a little bit so that you can still get the stretch. It's a little bit more work like this. But if you're able to sit your hips down, and we're going to try to balance. So from here, maybe come onto your fingertips, start to lift your chest, and point your knees down towards the floor. Try to make your thighs parallel. So once you're there and you feel stable, maybe one hand to the chest. Find a point of contact where your eyes can keep the gaze, and then maybe the other hand to the chest. And we balance here. Avoid looking around your room. Just find that one point of contact. Your gaze is soft, relaxed. Your shoulders are back and down. Your legs are super, super active here, and you're stretching through the toes. It's okay to wiggle a little bit. Maybe feel like you're going to fall down. The heels might open and reclose themselves. Belly's drawn in. And then exhale. Hands come down. Knees come down. Hands in forward. Exhale. Press up to downward facing. Let's stretch out those legs. So from this downward facing dog, move into maybe a little side to side with the hips, a little forward and back with your weight distribution. Maybe bend the right knee over to the left as you twist a little bit, and then do the other side. Let's do that one more time. Feels nice. Just nice and open rotation. So when you bend the left knee and pull it towards the right, you should feel a nice stretch to the right side of your body. Let's do it one more. And then when you do the other side, the stretch should move to the left side of your body when the right knee pulls in. So just nice and easy, steady breath. Until we make our way back to flat. Adjust your feet. Make sure that they are parallel to each other, hip width apart. And then let's take this dog for a walk by bending and straightening the legs, kind of swaying a little bit through the hips. So just walking out the legs. And exhale back to nice and stable, moving the rib cage towards the thighs, lifting the kneecaps, contracting your quadriceps, nice long thigh. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bring your knees down, separate the knees. And this time, let's grab our bolster. Place it between the knees. If you don't have a bolster, a nice wide, long pillow would work. Mindful of dog hair. All right, here we go. Once the bolster is in place, bring it as close to your body as it's available, and then let your belly and your rib cage both rest on the bolster. That's why we're using it, because we're going to be here for a while. So I like to interlace my hands, turn my head to the side, let my elbows relax, let my shoulders relax, and then I can kind of just really be here in a nice, comfortable child's pose. You should feel like you could be here, you could rest here. Your back is completely supported. You're not putting really any weight on the elbows. They're just resting on the floor. And if your hips are way up, away from your heels, it's okay. Gravity will start to pull them down one day. Close your eyes. Steady breath. Easy inhale, slow exhale. Now we're going to keep the head to one side. And then halfway through, I'll switch us. So just kind of let your neck stretch, let the shoulders move away from the ears.
Let your back relax because it doesn't need to be engaged, or the muscles don't need to be fired up. The muscles can be soft here, just letting yourself surrender. And then slowly let's turn the head the opposite direction. So we stretch the other side of the neck. Take a moment to adjust. Maybe you need to resettle down. And once you feel comfortable, then just come back to that nice, steady pace of breath. Slowly and gently. We'll start to bring the chin down to the hands so that we can have the neck now be straight. Or the head, I should say. The neck is kind of arching back a little bit. The throat is open. Shoulders down. And then exhale, let's release. So the forehead is down on the bolster or on your pillow. Elbows down to the floor. And let's just get a nice stretch in the back of the neck. We're adding some neck stretches here as we go. And then inhale, slowly press up. Move your shoulders back. Look forward, long spine. Exhale, slowly release. We're going to slide the bolster slightly forward. Bring the knees together. And then just kind of bring your right hip to the edge of your bolster. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to create the bolster, place the bolster onto the side so that we can create a twist. I like to kind of tuck my inside foot underneath me so that my knees are together. But if that's awkward for you, you're always welcome to bring that foot in front. Either way is actually fine. And once we're in the posture, you can change and modify the position of your legs as well. So the bolster's on the right side. We're going to pivot our body and we're going to straddle the bolster with the arms. So we're going to bring both arms to either side. It's natural for you to want to dump your weight to the right. So see if you can keep that left side a little bit more active so that the right side doesn't have to take the brunt of your weight. From here, you're going to rest your rib cage on top of the bolster, on top of your pillows. Walk your hands down and bring your elbows down. So option number one is to just let your chin come down or to turn your head towards the same direction of your knees. If you want to make this a little bit more intense or make the twist a little bit more into the upper back and into the neck and the shoulders, then you want to turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. So now that you're wherever your head is, whether facing the front or the back, try to relax into your shoulders. So I like to open my elbows a little bit and my hands, so that way I feel like I'm not pushing into the floor, but I can let myself fully rest. At this point, then you can decide to change the position of your legs. Maybe you want to keep them as they are, or maybe you want to extend that back leg a little bit and bring the other foot slightly in front. You kind of see how this feels. Actually, this feels pretty nice. Move that pillow out the way. There we go. And again, we're going to be here for a few minutes. So let yourself be completely relaxed. You can also do this by stacking blocks, kind of making a line of blocks, maybe putting the blanket on top. It's the same concept. You just want something to rest on. So as you're resting on your prop, really let your prop take your weight. Don't feel like you have to support any of your weight, whether it's with your forearms or with your legs. Let yourself be completely heavy. And let gravity kind of just pull you down. Couple more breaths here. See if you can surrender to what you find. Make sure that you adjust and make the pose comfortable for you. Well, we're almost out. We're going to switch sides in a moment. So to start the removal or the coming out of this posture, we're going to slide the elbows in so that they're closer to your prop. Inhale, push into the forearms, and just take the chin down for a moment. It's a deep stretch sometimes in the neck, so we just want to be gentle. Then turn your head other side and stay there for a moment. Again, you can open the elbows and resettle yourself back down. If you never had the head the other direction, just stay where you are for a few more moments. All right, so we're going to take that top leg, the left leg, we're going to extend it back, and we're going to press the hands into the mat. Inhale, push yourselves forward. So that left leg is extended back. You might feel a little stretch in the hip flexor. Inhale, tuck the back toe under, pull yourself back, and then we're going to align ourselves with this bolster. Let me move myself forward. So we're going to align ourselves with this bolster so that the right knee is towards the right wrist and the left foot is on the back of the left wrist. And we're going to extend out. We're going to do kind of a funky pigeon pose here. Make sure that your hips are nice and even. So don't bring all your hips to the left. Don't dump all your weight to the right. Keep it nice and even. And this foot that's underneath, you can walk it up closer to the bolster so that it's more parallel. That's a lot harder for me, so I'm going to keep it down. Now have the bolster really close to so that it's underneath your rib cage, and go ahead and lay down on there again. And then this time we're going to keep the head towards the left. So before we were turning it to the right, keep it facing a more comfortable position. Or if you like, you can take it to the chin, or if you want, actually, you can take it the other side. It's really up to you, wherever you put your head, just wherever it is. We're going to switch halfway through so that you can do the other side. I'm going to start here and I'll finish on the other side. Close your eyes, let yourself relax, stabilize with your breath. And then kind of allow yourself to keep that back leg just active enough so that the foot doesn't kind of flop over. You want to kind of engage so that that leg is active, pushing down into the floor. Very good. And just let your weight rest onto this bolster. So the bolster is supporting you. Let yourself be here, resting onto the bolster. Relax your shoulders, let your elbows touch down. And again, your hands can be on the bolster or they can be on the floor. This feels pretty good, actually. Re-engaging into that back leg, just enough so that the foot doesn't relax. Just a few more breaths here, then we're going to switch the direction of the head. Okay, let's take a nice deep breath in and then just switch. So turn the head the other direction just so we can get the stretch on the other side of the neck. And maybe it's a little harder to activate that back leg when your head turns. Do it anyway. Try to keep that back leg nice and grounded. And just a couple more breaths here. Try to relax through your shoulders. Let's start with the inhale breath, bringing the elbows a little bit closer to your prop. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe rest your chin, or if you want, you can kind of lift and extend forward. Hands slide underneath the shoulders. Inhale, press up. Shoulders roll back, lift your chest, maybe even the chin can come up. And then exhale, slide that right knee back. Let's kind of just readjust here. So resettle, let's take a downward facing dog leg. Even out both sides. So tuck the toes under, downward facing. Deep breath in, slow breath out. You can turn and sway the hips side to side. then exhale, bring the knees down, and we're gonna go ahead and set up for the twist. So slide both knees to the right, and again, you can settle that left hip down, moving the the bolster to the left hip. Again, the left toe can be under, the right foot right behind it, or you can have that left foot in front. So your choice here. I like to set up like this, but once we're in it, we can always adjust. All right, so once you're in place, we're gonna straddle that prop with the hands. So bringing a little bit more weight to that left side, and so that the right side can feel like it's also pushing into the floor, creating engagement. You're gonna rest your rib cage and your chest on your prop as you slide yourself down. Remember, you can have your head, chin on the bolster. Not my favorite. I feel like I can't really breathe comfortably here. You can have your head face the same direction as the knees are pointing, or if you want to try a little bit more intensity, you can turn your head the opposite direction. Once you're here, then you can decide to release that back leg back a little bit and really kind of resettle yourself into the asana. Remember, you can also use your hands underneath your head. That feels nice too. So wherever you decide to be, if your hands are not underneath your head, let your elbows open out, relax and soften through your shoulders, and settle in and be here for a few minutes. So I want you to be comfortable. Let the breath be continuous, effortless as it flows in and out of the body. If you start to feel tightness, tension, pain, anywhere in your body, for pain, definitely come out and readjust. For tightness or tension, try to breathe into the tightness. So the inhale, try to bring the inhale to where the tightness lives. See if you can find space there with expanding it with the inhale breath. And then as you exhale, try to soften. We're going to start to move the head the opposite direction. So gently engage into the arms, just enough to lift your head. You can rest it at the center for a moment, and then take it over to the other side, stretching the neck the opposite direction. And just be here again, a few more minutes. And slowly we're going to start to lift the head. Maybe bring the chin back to the center. Slide the elbows down and in. Maybe slide into the hands. Inhale, press yourself up. Then we're going to extend that back leg out. We're going to readjust ourselves here so that that left knee can go to the left wrist. And then the left foot can go towards the right wrist. May or may not be close to it. It kind of depends on your flexibility. Tuck the back toe under and then start to reach that leg back. Once the leg goes as far as it'll go, you're going to use your bolster, slide it right underneath you so your rib cage and your belly can rest on it. And then we're going to start to make our way down. And so again, same as before, you can decide which way or which direction your head's going to turn. Don't worry which way you decide because we will do both. But you just know that one side's going to feel a little bit more comfortable. The other side's going to feel a little less comfortable. So choose which comfort level you want at first, because we're going to be swapping that in a few moments. So just always make sure that your hips are even when you're doing this, so that you're not dumping all your weight onto your right side or the left side. Just going to keep your hips even and really rest yourself onto your bolster. The right leg is active. It's not relaxed, foot kind of relaxed and pointed, but it's reaching that leg back. The more you reach it, the more stretch you're going to feel in the right hip flexors. So just find yourself in that space. And again, you can have the hands underneath the head like I do, or you can have them down on the mat and just let yourself completely settle. Either way is fine. And once more, close your eyes and just get comfortable here. Breathing deeply. If your head is turned in one direction, go ahead and turn it the other direction, stopping by in the middle if you need to. Resettle yourself down, recheck with that back leg, make sure it's remaining active. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Elbows can move away from you so that you're not putting any weight on your arms, or you can have your hands underneath your head. And steady breath here. Just a few more moments. Slowly and gently, we'll start to bring the elbows underneath, maybe the chin to the bolster, or you can kind of press into your hands, maybe slide the hands more underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest, shoulders back, maybe even chin up. And then exhale, slowly release. We're going to reset again, so tuck that back toe under, slide the knee in, slide the left knee back, and then once more, let's take our child's, or our, you can do a child's pose if you want, or you can do your downward facing. Just kind of resetting the body, equalizing both sides. And then we'll do a nice even posture here. We'll do a relaxing back bend, and this will be the last posture we do today. So if you wanted to grab a blanket or socks to get yourself comfy and warm, you're going to place the bolster behind you this time so that you're facing away from it. Keep it low close to your lower back as you slide yourself back and sit and lay all the way down, letting the bolster support you. Starting off here, let's start with the feet together, knees apart. So in a Baddha position. If this is uncomfortable for your hips and you really feel like your legs are just floating and not allowing you to kind of relax into the posture, then you can slide some pillows or blocks or anything underneath the knees. You can also move the left feet farther away, and that's going to minimize the opening or the pressure that you might feel in your inner thighs. So from here, let's take the hands overhead and let's just get a nice, long, extended spine. Avoid crunching or like pulling into your lower back. So instead, you want to feel like there's all this space between the vertebrae of the spine. So it kind of elongates and then it bends, as opposed to like crunching in. Think about a long space between the vertebrae and then letting that space bend. So it's a lot of it is visual, mental, especially when it comes to back bending. So allow yourself to kind of find that long extended spine that has the flexibility to open up and bend. And again, if you don't have a bolster, you can also use blocks for this one as well. So all the poses we've done today, you can do with blocks. Open up your heart space, let your elbows be heavy. letting your elbows drop down towards the mat one day. And then as you take the next exhale breath, let's go ahead and release the arms, release the legs, and now come into Shavasana legs. Arms by your sides, palms facing up. Kind of resettle your sits bones and your hips. Make sure your butt is all the way down onto the floor though. You don't want to feel like your butt's lifting up. Keep your butt down, relax down. And let's take some breaths here. Because this is going to be the version of our Shavasana today. You're welcome to stay here for a little bit with the bolster or the props, the blocks, and then make your way to Shavasana after a few moments. I'll give you a cue when we're about halfway, so you can try that. Or you can stay here the whole time. Just kind of relax into it. Keep your eyes either a soft gaze or closed. We're halfway through, so if you wanted to lay all the way flat on your back, you're welcome to do that now. Or you can stay in the supported back bend. The next inhale breath, let's start to bring awareness back to this room, to this space. And perhaps you started to doze off a little bit or feel so relaxed that you could have. Just bring your mindful awareness back to this next breath in and slow breath out. To the body, how it feels with the bolster below you. Points of your body making contact with the earth. And the points of your body rising up from the earth. As we take a nice deep breath in, let's start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, hands, the feet, the wrists, and the ankles start to wake up. And then from here, if you'd like, you can go back to that Baddha Konasana position with the soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. either really close to your body or much farther away. And same with the arms, let's extend them back. Open the heart space and see if the elbows are allowing themselves to come down a little bit more after holding. To come out of this posture, we're going to plant the feet on the floor, bring the knees in, hands behind the head, and we're going to slowly lift the head so we can look towards the knees. Now, just like a sit-up, you can keep your hands back behind your head, elbows out or elbows in, or you can reach your arms forward, use them as a pull to extend and lift and maybe hold on to your knees, come up, and then let's give ourselves a nice hug, a nice squeeze, a nice thank you, forehead to the knees, shoulders away from the ears, round your back. Deep breath in, slow breath out, relax your abdomen. And then slowly release, come back to center, and we'll just come into a seated position for a moment, just to kind of make sure that everything feels nice and even. As we come back to seated, long extended spine, and you should feel maybe a sense of like floating coming out of the body. Let's bring the hands onto the lap, close the eyes. And just allow yourself to scan through the body. Notice if the muscles of your back are, talking to you. They've been lengthening for quite a bit of time, and they've been maybe feeling contracted throughout the rest of your day or throughout the rest of your week. So it's going to be feeling a little bit different in your back muscles, in your chest muscles, in your abdomen muscles. So just take note, no judgment. However it feels, it's okay. And then slowly we'll bring the palms together at the center of the heart, thumbs against the sternum. We'll inhale together for Om. Namaste.